Hello everyone, how you guys doing? This is Bantu Queen. I hope you're doing well. Okay, so we're gonna talk about dreams. Why you should pay close attention to your dreams. Generally we kind of like me, I know personally I used to kind of overlook dreams. For years, I continuously have those repeated dream, similar dream, or exact same dream about the exact same thing. Like clearly, now I know that clearly was to kind of clearly show something to me. But I was like, I don't know why. Maybe I was not spiritually enlightened then. I didn't pay attention to those things, which is very, very funny because from the moment I pay attention, when I say pay attention, that means that I will wake up, I will sit down, I will think about it, I will analyze my dream, I will look into it closely, I will just try to grab the message in the dream. And from the moment I do this, I guarantee you the dream will stop. I will never have that dream again. So it means that, and that's why it's really, really clear that when you're having repeated dream, over time, over months, over a year, you keep on having the same dream or a similar dream that keep on coming. That means that's a way that your ancestors are calling you to pay a particular attention to something very, very specific. And that's the way of communicating with us. But because for when I was like a religious person, I didn't understand things that way. I've always been very spiritual. But it took some time for me to kind of like really understand my spirituality and embrace my spirituality. No one around me was really into spirituality. Even those who were like my dad were not really like vocal about it. My dad never really went to church. I never saw my dad in church. I never saw my grandfather in church. Back home in Africa, they would say that people who don't go to church are witches and all those things. Me, I never saw it like that. Actually, I was always very curious to know why my dad didn't want to go to church. It never stopped us going to church. Never. It never was negative about us going to church, but it never went to church. And I always wonder why. It's only like when as I grow more enlightened on spiritually, I started to understand why my dad was not going to church. So what I was saying is that, yeah, as a religious person, what I was told is that if I have a bad dream, I should just sit up and pray over it, which I think I did. Not that thing, I know that I did because I remember back then I used to have a lot of bad dreams. A lot of bad dreams was constantly around death, around revenant, like around ghost, around, but very scary, not like the nice ghost, no, like very, very scary. And it was constantly, there was another dream that constantly come that take me back to my childhood. My dad compound. You have to know that my dad, there were many houses, and one particular house was built by my dad's sister. And that dream, like I had that dream more than thousands of times, where it constantly take me there. That specific room where I was scared to death, to that room. Constantly, every time I had that dream, it constantly take me to that place and that dream. You have to know that that particular dream was actually my room was actually that particular room where the dream always took me was actually a room that my room when I was little. That's where I was sleeping. But I was not the only one who slept in that room. It was on and off. I remember that sometimes my parents used to sleep in that room. My dad had 3 or 4 houses growing up. So all of them around the same places. So sometimes he would sleep in his main house, where the house that he built himself. Sometimes it would be one of the house that the sister built. So that dream constantly took me there. And I remember back then, when I would be scared, I would wake up, I would pray over it. But the dream never went away. It will constantly come, it will constantly come. So I was just kind of brushing. I would have that dream, and then I will brush it off, and then I will continue. And you need to understand that any dream, that will constantly take you back to childhood. But childhood on things that are not very pleasant, you really, really need to pay close attention to it. Because as certain things happen, probably certain, the always, I don't know if you know about, they call it generational curse. You have to pay attention to that. That there's something linked to that. If the dream take you constantly from when you were little, you know, it's like kind of keeping you to a specific space at a specific moment at a specific age. It's like almost like you did not grow. You know, you did not grow spiritually, you did not grow physically. You're kind of locked up on that specific stage. So you really, really have to pay attention to it. So like I said, for a long time, I did not pay attention to it. And then at some point, I have to sit down, think about it, talk about it, and actually kind of talk about it, communicate with my sister. And I never had that dream again. And then there were a few dreams that I had like that over years, over again. Each time that I stop, I talk about it clearly, express myself, because you need to understand that you have a power over everything around you. You have a power over yourself. You have a power over what you're saying. You have to use that power. You know, most of the time we kind of rely on other people to kind of speak for us, to kind of do for us, but you can do anything for you. Actually, you are enough. If there's only one word I can use is you are enough. I mean, you are enough. You can actually bring good as the same way you can bring bad in your life. Just by thinking, just by talking. Also, more importantly, like the way that you move. Because as a human being, we have that thing that is very powerful, which is energy. And your energy can be stained or it can be clean. You know, whatever you're going to put out there, what you put out there will be your energy. And that's exactly what you will receive back. So, yeah, to pay attention to dreams. And when I say pay attention, really stop. If you are a religious person, to stop. You know, when you're having a dream, you're having impression. You're having some people. Me, I know that every family, you know, there's the stories in families. There's stories in the families. And if you are kind of like you spend a long time in the family, you saw a lot of people who are part of your family, you kind of have an idea about who is who and who does what. So when you're having those dreams, you know what happened. Yeah, I know who built that house. I also know the kind of life that person who built that house had. I also know the type of personality that person have. I also know the type of person that person is. So obviously, when you know all this, it's very simple and easy to kind of speak. When you're speaking, you're kind of like removing whatever that was done that affected you because you got close, because you were born into that family, because you're sharing the same blood, because you sleep in that house that she built. All those things, you're kind of like talking, having that power to move that thing from you, to remove those things from you. But if you're saying all those things also working, if you're also making sure to kind of clean your space, clean yourself and clean your space. Because you cannot be there putting your hand on funny stuff, doing funny things, being a funny type of a person and expect your mouth, what you speak to come to be positive. No, you have to also clean yourself spiritually, clean yourself physically, really clean yourself, clean your way of thinking, clean your way of being, clean your way of acting, clean your, obviously, no one is perfect. We are all a working process. Me, I know that I'm not perfect. I can say clearly that in my life, I have one specific thing that continues to hold me back, and I'm really working on it, and I know that it's getting better. But what I'm saying is that the main message of this video is to pay close attention to your dreams and to speak over it, to acknowledge them and to speak over it, you know. So yes, there was another one that I was having, who was another family member, which also we know who she is, what she did, the type of person that she is, and all those things. And the dream was constantly evolving around her. As in the dream, she is the one who have everything, and everybody else is kind of depending on her. And that whatever that she decided, for example, it was always us living with her, living in her house. And whenever she decided that she want to throw us out, then we found ourselves, the feeling in the dream that we will feel like completely desperate, like destitute, like I have no hope. You know, normally if you're living with somebody to throw you out, for some people, yeah, they might feel that way because they have no way of turning around and finding somewhere to go straight away. But for me, that's not the situation. Even I don't know what can happen tomorrow. I cannot predict the future, but I know that I cannot be in that desperate state. But in my dream, I'm in a truly desperate space where her doing that put me in the situation where I'm nothing, where I cannot do anything, I cannot have anything, I cannot get a house. So I can't even say a house in my home. So I'm finished. That was, yeah, I'm finished by her doing that. That was my dream. You know, that mean what it mean. You know, dreams are very, very, very powerful. It's just a pity that it took me a long time for me to really start paying attention to my dream, to really start kind of like understanding, because everything was clear. It's not like, it's not a message, something that you don't understand. It's something that is clear. It's something that you are able to understand. You know, they're not going to send you messages that you cannot understand. Your ancestor will send you messages that you're able to understand. You're able to kind of like open and kind of like follow and understand the ends, the message, the message inside the dream. So that's what it was. And there was another one also we were about me barefoot. You know, me, I'm somebody who love to be barefoot. So obviously, if I was to think about it, I would say it's normal. But the thing is, how you feel in the dream is very important. You need to pay attention to how you feel in the dream when you're in this specific situation about something. If you're happy, but that's fine. But if you're not happy, that you feel ashamed, that you feel scared, that you feel desperate, then you really need to pay attention to it. That dream where everybody's getting ready to go somewhere, you know, is a big party, everybody dressed well and everything. I'm dressing up, I'm looking good, but I will go to the party, I have no shoes on. And I'm feeling very ashamed about it in the dream. I'm feeling very bad about it in the dream. People who know me know that I love to be barefoot. You know, if I'm in the grass and I love to be barefoot, something that makes me happy. In the real life, it makes me happy. But in my dream, it makes me feel very, very bad. For people who know, you know, the definition, not the definition, like the shoes, foot and shoes have a very powerful meaning when it comes to dreams. So that's another thing. It took me time to kind of like pay attention to that dream. From the moment I pay attention to it, I stopped to think about it, everything. I'd never had that dream again. And everything changing, everything. I mean, if thing has been changing for a long time, to be honest with you, I've always been kind of happy with my life. But in the back of my mind, I always knew that I was not where I was supposed to be. I always knew that. This is not because I was not doing the work. This is not because I'm not ambitious. This is not because I'm not hardworking. I'm all those things. I always have a very comfortable life, but I always also knew that I was not where I was supposed to be. And by doing all those things, it kind of gave me enhance that peace of mind, that harmony, that all those things that I'm looking for, I'm creating for myself in my life. It really make all those things that it really made them clear. It really make them secured and touchable. You know, like I know that it's there because it was always that type of how to say that. I don't know how to tell you. You know, that feeling you have like something is missing. That something is missing. Like there's something that you cannot, you can't touch it. It's there, but you cannot touch it. You know, you have that feeling. Like I constantly used to have that feeling, but now I don't have that feeling anymore. So that's what I'm saying to you again. Please pay attention to your dreams. It's very, very important. Pay attention. If you have been having a recurrent dream over again, and in that dream you're feeling scared, in that dream you're feeling desperate, in that dream you're feeling anxious, in that dream you're feeling ashamed, you know, all those negative emotion, pay attention to the dream. If you know, like I said, everybody have a history, everybody have family, every family have his history. So you know who is who in your family, you know what I think. It's not going to be a dream that you cannot understand. It will be something that you understand. And the message is actually quite clear. It's quite clear. People will think that when the creator want to send you a message, it will be a crypted message. You have to go like to try to no. Every message that you receive that is for you, it will be easy. It will be a message that you can understand, and you can actually how to say that I can't find the word. It's a message that you can understand. It's not going to be something that difficult that you cannot understand. You need a third party to explain to you what it's about. Believe me, you will be able to understand whatever message that I've been trying to pass to you. So that's what I wanted to say. So on this, just take care of yourself. Love yourself. Clean your life. You are able to clean your own life. You don't need anybody to do that for you. You don't need anybody to put your life where it should be. You don't. All you need is to really connect and communicate. Your ancestor, the creator, will place you where you're supposed to be in your life. It will give you the opportunity to live the life that is meant for you. On this, take care of yourself. Cheers.